run about middle of the pack on it, but in 8 to 10 laps I'm exhausted because you're hanging on. When you go around a turn, your body gets thrown and you get your elbows out on that to kind of hold you, but you're also hanging on as hard as you can on the steering wheel. And so your wrists get quite a workout and everything. So I would only suggest it if you're in fairly decent shape and you want a real challenge, because these controls are kind of complicated. It took me about 6 months to really get the hang of it where I could drive good. And then, like on starts, you pull in the clutch, but then you're working the thumb throttle. So with your thumb, you're working the gas, but then you're feeding the clutch with the other hand. So getting good starts is kind of tricky because you're trying to, work those two together, and at best I get average starts. And that's just one little downfall of it. But once you get going, you'll be on the gas, and with this hand you can reach over, shift up into the next gear, and be working those like that. And I don't use the clutch after the start. I just gas it and just let off a little, shift, and get back on the gas. And then when I brake, pull in the brakes, and I can do downshifting over on this side. So as long as everything's being worked that way, it works fine. If you miss a shift and you're going into a turn, though, the only way to downshift is you got to take your thumb off the throttle, so you lose a lot of ground if you miss a shift, and you got to downshift again. And one other downfall of the system is if you slide out and you go to put the counter steer in, you get the wheels cocked quite a ways. It's almost impossible to reach up and grab the clutch because of the angle of your arm. It's physically impossible. So if you spin bad, you're going to kill the motor. It's almost impossible to get to the clutch. And there's been a few times when I spun so hard that they counter steer and my thumb actually came off throttle because I couldn't physically reach it. And so those are just a few downfalls of this system, but it works fairly good. It just takes a long time to get the hang of it, and it's physically demanding. Okay, stop. This is just a normal image. Okay. We're going to go over how you get in the go-kart. It's basically just built like a little swing set type setup, and what I've got here, this is what they have like on the front of boat trailers to crank a boat up onto the trailer. And I just took the nuts that mount the handle and I welded those nuts on there. And then I've built up a little pulley here with the cable going out. And then the way I actuate this is just a cordless drill. It needs to be like about a 12 volt because the little cheap smaller drills won't work that well. You just stick it up on here, and that's how we work this boat hoist. And I've just got this little sling that we built that goes underneath me. I just lift up and someone slides this underneath me in a chair, and I've got little hooks in here, and I've got a little harness thing that just hooks into these hooks there, hooks into that, and then we use that to lift me out of the chair and then lower me down into the cart. Just cut. Okay, now I'm just going to get the sling underneath me. I just lift up and someone slides it under. Okay, and then just put them into these little chains that I made. Okay, ready to go up. Oh, you can just leave the leg tanks on. Just go ahead and hit the drill. I'll let you come back. ahead and just roll the wheelchair out. And roll the go-kart back. Okay, it's hitting the stand a little bit. Just got to slide the rear end. Okay, and since the steering wheel comes off, we just lay it over the front of the cart. Go ahead and lower it. Usually just leave the sling in and just tuck it under my leg. Then the steering wheel just slides on, and then I've got a bolt that I just slide through, tighten the nut on, and put a pin, safety pin on. It's not important. Why don't you come around to the back to see the controls? Well, or wait, just go more to the front. I guess right here you can see like where my elbows end up at on that. So when I go around turns, you get thrown off to the side, so you can get your elbow and kind of hold. So you kind of locked onto the steering wheel and the elbow there, and you can kind of hold your body up. But without these, I'd go around turns and my arms would end up out over here getting burned real bad on the pipe because I just couldn't hold myself in place. And then why don't you come around to the back and we'll see the controls. Okay. Again, these are just the controls. So like you can pull in the clutch over here, run the gas. This is the brake over here, and then you reach in. This would be downshifting, this is upshifting. So you can be on the gas and be working the shifts like that. And then you can be on the brakes and downshifting. And then like on start, you've got to pull the clutch in, work the throttle, and then you've got to feed it gas, work the throttle out, and that's a little complicated and all that. And then what I was talking about, like if you get in to a slide, I don't have steering wheel spin pins, so that's why it'll spin like this. But if you get into a slide, you put the counter steer in, it's like impossible to get out there and get the clutch, so you're probably going to kill the motor. And there's no getting around that. Usually I don't slide out that much, so it's not that big of a problem. And sometimes you can counter steer and keep it going. But the arm things were important. I really couldn't drive competitively until I put these arm pieces in. You can go ahead and stop. Okay, to get out, you pull the pin out of the steering wheel, pull the steering wheel out, and you've got the chains hooked up. Okay. lowering back into the wheelchair. Not much to the rest. Go ahead and stop. Nose. And then what I did for the brakes.